This video is an extension of my latter few videos, the causes for divorce. In this, I'm going to dig deeper into the spousal, parental, and the spiritual role that is included into the causes for divorce. Here I've opened up Psalms 120, verse 7. Again, after studying Jeremiah 1 verse 11, it led me to this that says, uh, I am Annie. And of course, that's the same pronunciation as my wife's name. Am for peace, but when I speak, they are for war. I explained last time that here is a representation of motherhood, MAH. Not only am I Annie, but I am mother. So I've opened up right here MAH, and it's essentially a pronoun interrogative. And interrogative is who, what, when, where, why, all the different questions that is attributed to scripturally as it pertains to inclusion of a pronoun, not inherently always a pronoun. And that's as near as this study gets to explaining that it includes motherhood. Meanwhile, I've turned to the more common word study for mother. Here includes the bond of the family. In godliness, you're meant to become part of a family. You have in-laws, family, etc. And in fact, the family goes all the way over to this word, which is father. This is also the same word for Father God. Meanwhile, mother's ancestral that this happens to be my grandmother on my father's side. At least how I would say the phonetic spelling is as Amy. In-laws can create quite a marital war within a mother to try to maintain peace within the in-law family that sometimes doesn't respect boundaries of uh, uh, parental authority. Here, as I open up the word study, again, it's EM, which is the Amy mother. But as I turn to a clarified definition, um, in relation to they, there's the word they is or grandmother. It is only used when emphatic, and emphatic means high emphasis need, whether it's grandmother or me trying to keep the peace in the family, let's say, and how to address it um, in motherhood terms is I as father am implied within motherhood because you can't be a mother without a father. And as I address my fatherhood and thus emphatically expound upon fatherhood and motherhood and spiritual, I see that these two words um, uh, come out of Genesis 1 as an understanding of God, quote, in creation of the seed. Here I've opened up Genesis 1, verse 11, uh, King James, and in addressing the seed, it goes deep into the verse, addressing the outcome of the seed, the work that you put in, that is the fruit of your labors, um, and including uh, his kind, which is my genealogy, that includes kindred and whose seed is in itself. And there's the the extreme quest for understanding in God's creation, uh, it's not a rhetorical question, but it is a quest for answering it according to God's will. In God's plan, it is His will that you receive that. Well, I'll show you the interlinear. Here's the interlinear of the same verse. Um, whose seed is in itself. Um, Here's this word study for seed. It doesn't um, explain a lot that isn't already well understood about procreate and reproduce, and how the seed is in different kinds of life, but includes um, life inside of us as individual creations. And the study of self is um, who is in you. Um, is God so abstractly understood that God is an it, and it is as clear as as self wants to bring uh, possession of God in your spirit, because worship takes place in your spirit, and you need to, as self, let go of self and turn over your will to God's will, and then it becomes God instead of itself, and that's what is in your spirit. Um, but I can't help but notice uh, that subject is a war tool of a bow versus bow. And in your spirit, you can war against the creator that brought forward the seed to you and to your offspring and to your motherhood and to all of creation. There is not an authority that exceeds this correctness. Here I've opened up Genesis 1:12, and the main point here is King James puts whose seed is in itself over to whose seed was in itself. That is, you can come into your spirit correctly with God and then exit and lose your His presence in you as you journey wrongly, make sinful choices, etc. Um, so over here, there's a was. Here in Genesis 1, verse 12, the interlinear is whose seed is, and see the is still is instead of was. So this doesn't align with King James as coming in and out of, and yet the subject um, uh, can be looked at as the seed can go in and out, but the kindred can't come in and out. The kindred being family relations, ancestral line, doesn't pop in and out. It's um, always in, and in fact, it's so in that part of the word here is mine. My kindred is a direct descendant line, and of course, all that takes place within the difference between a war tool bow compared to bow. Notice there's no index number word study for this. It's suggestive that it's so self-explanatory that it doesn't need to open up a word study. The definition is to come, to go, to enter. So that's in relation to the word in. You can come and go in your spirit to address self, or you can address God's will, You can align with him in your spirit. You can exit him in your spirit.